stop and take a little time out with me. Just take 5.
All right. Yeah. 5 paces on the 5 today. That sounded, it came out very wrong. Like, I don't even know what that was. Almost had a stroke or something like that. But 5 faces on the pod this morning. All right. So we got the regular crew, and we do have a guest with us, Mr. Coop. Covered to share his taste. Let's show us some love real quick, man. Let's show us some love real quick. We appreciate Coop getting on. So, Coop, I gotta ask you about your athletic background and where your loyalties lie. So go ahead and let us know.
Well, my athletic background, I think that it could have went better. Woodward, I don't want to speak too much on that. I think I've already expressed how I felt on my Instagram story. I love playing sports though. When I was younger, football, basketball, and I think now I've always loved giving my takes on basketball, football. I think that I make good points, and yeah, I mean, where my loyalties lie. From Atlanta, I like the Falcons, Cowboys, Chiefs, and then Georgia Bulldogs, of course, and then also too. That's really my teams. That's where my loyalties lie. Atlanta can be a little bit difficult to cheer for at times, just because the Braves just lost. I didn't, in baseball, I didn't know that it wasn't 7-game series. Like I thought that we had a chance to have a 3-1 comeback, but I checked online and it was like the Braves got eliminated, and I was just like,
yeah,
damn.
Didn't they switch it up though? Like, wasn't it 7 games?
The championship is 7 games. Like the World Series and the semifinals is 7.
Okay,
but this
that's
like
dumb to me, because like if in baseball you play more games than any other sport, why would it be a 5-game series in the playoffs? That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know, but that's the only way that the Braves could get beat. Like I said that going into the series, that like we're only vulnerable in a 5-game series.
Hey, man,
I did. I'm not backpedaling. Like I actually asked Ian. Like we talked about this a while ago.
For sure, but cool. I got one more question though. Cool. What about the NBA? Is you a Hawks fan?
Yeah, I'm a Hawks fan. The reason why I'm a Hawks fan is because I think that they play hard, and I think that they actually are a team that is taking it serious. The thing about the Hawks is we're consistently a team that's not really good enough to get a high draft pick, and we're not bad enough to get a high draft pick, and we're not good enough to actually make any real noise in the playoffs. I think if you look at our history, with like Joe Johnson, Al Horford, and the crew, that wasn't gonna beat like any of those teams back then. And I think now Trae Young, he's great, he's clutch, but I think that he takes too many deep 3-pointers that are very low percentage shots. And this is just coming from somebody who used to be a season ticket holder. Like I used to like literally watch this, and some of these threes that he's shooting, they hit the side of the backboard, or like they miss like that. They hit like really like hard back rim, and then occasionally he makes it, and then that's what you see on ESPN and all these sports networks. But I think that they might need to get rid of Clint Capella. I think that we need to let Onyeka Okongwu kind of step up and do his thing a little bit more. Clint Capella is good, but I think he's a little bit too old. But he still has great production. But I think that he's just a little bit too old. And the Hawks also are a very physically weak team. When we go up against Milwaukee, we're a very small team. Like not Kevin Herter, but Bogdanovich, if I'm saying that correctly. He's not very big. Trae Young, obviously, I'm pretty sure I'm bigger than Trae Young is. Like, and I'd like to like he's not that. They have him listed at like 6'1". I don't think that he's really 6'1", like not without shoes on. And DeAndre Hunter is like the only real muscle and the only real defender that you have. I think, I mean, who else do we have? Jalen Johnson. I think he's a great above the rim player. And
we
I
got
think
AJ Griffin too. AJ
yeah,
Griffin,
yeah,
another big body for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And he has a lot of potential to be also. So I think that we're a great young team, and we're definitely one of the most entertaining teams to watch on a night to night basis. I think in the league.
I definitely agree, but listen, I got these three guys in here. They looking around because they want to sit here and talk about the pigskin. You know what I mean? They want to talk about the some different stuff like that. So
I'm fine to talk about the Hawks' mediocrity. Like the Hawks,
man, watch out, man.
I agree with
like that was a nice little speech. Like the Hawks are made. We know that.
So who's your team?
My team's the Lakers. So
okay, I feel like I remember that from high school actually. So I won't sit here and say that's.
I'm not a LeBron fan. Like I'm a Lakers fan.
Okay. They look like they'd be able to come out the West actually if they. It really depends on AD. He got to take that next, take that next step. He's already been elite. It's just I don't,
just injuries.
Yeah,
and dominant. He has to want to dominate. I think. I feel like it's will. Like he needs to want to dominate. Like he doesn't. Like some nights it just looks like he has no will. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
We're gonna be good though. Just watch and see. We got some shooters now. Now we definitely gonna be good. But what you call it? I gotta go ahead and throw it to bro really quick because we did go out bad. So I'm gonna just go ahead and let him do his thing for real.
It's just like I already told Julian and Miles what was gonna happen at the beginning of the year. I told them Acuna's not better than Bryce Harper. I told them Matt Olson was a bad signing. I told them they're not better than the Phillies. They can have the division. That's cool. It holds zero weight. 2 years in a row. Just bad luck, bro. This is just a bad look by the Braves. Phillies in 4.
As you can see, Blastellanos. Like, I mean, I let the baseball folk talk about it because I don't know ball. So, Julian, go ahead and respond. Tell us why.
There's really not that much to say about it. Like we did get outplayed. We lost the series. Like it happens. It's baseball. Like I feel like that's what people who don't watch it don't get. Like teams get very hot and cold. Like that happens in baseball typically. So to act as if like Ian's statement, like he says Matt Olson is a bad signing. Matt Olson just led the league in home runs.
And he had zero
in RBI.
It had zero home runs in the playoffs.
It was a 4-game sample.
Okay, and Castellanos had 4. He had 4 home runs in
Castellanos played well. But
okay, so it's a bad signing. What does Julian always say, Morgan?
He does value the playoffs.
The best in the playoffs.
He does not care about the regular season.
He does not care about the regular season.
Can we backpedal a little bit because I've never spoken about number one. That's true in baseball too, but I haven't said that about baseball. In baseball, it's way more complicated. Like the season is 160 games. To act like that doesn't matter. It's foolishness. To say Matt Olson is a bad signing makes no sense. If we're talking about basketball where you have a 70-game series and you don't show up in the playoffs, that's way different. That's different.
Bro, not showing up is not showing up.
And no, wait. See, don't try to compare. This is where I don't understand why we try to compare sports and stuff. Because in basketball, it's a 48-minute game, right? There's so much time that you have to make an impact on the game. Matt Olson went to the plate 16 times in the series.
Okay, he had 16 times to hit a home run, and he didn't hit it once.
Bro,
dude,
think about what you're saying.
I will say, when it comes to Atlanta sports, this is what happens when you put an Atlanta team on a pedestal. That's really all that I can say. I mean, like the way that they won the championship a couple years ago, it seemed to me that it was a little unexpected and that they just started getting on a roll and then winning the chip. But
yeah,
we did.
This year we had all the pressure on, and I just think that almost kind of like Georgia, how the Bulldogs are now. It's like you almost just feel like something can just go wrong. You just like, this is too good to be true. We've been winning all these games. You just feel the downfall coming with an Atlanta sports team specifically.
You're right.
That's what I'm talking
You
about.
And
definitely right about that.
that's fair. That's fair. And like to build on that point, everything that could have went wrong in that series actually did go wrong. And prior to the series, like we lost our starting pitcher, Max Fried. He was out for 2 weeks prior to the series. Then we took another week off. He hadn't pitched in 20 days. Then we lost our third pitcher. So we conceded game 3 basically because we pitched a guy who would never be making a postseason start. And we lost the game immediately almost. Like, so to build on that, like, yeah, everything that could have went wrong actually did.
And then,
our offense disappeared.
A few years ago, if I'm not mistaken, before the Braves even won the championship, they got waxed by the Dodgers, if I'm not mistaken, in a series that I think it was going 7 games or 5 games or whatever. But they got waxed in that game. And you had all these Braves fans talking about, oh, we're going to do this, that, and the other. We're beating the Dodgers because I'm guessing the Dodgers were good at that time. And, for the Braves to be taking them this far. But that last game, it was in Atlanta. It was at Truist Park too. It was bad. I mean, so I think that the Braves, they're a good organization. It's just, and I'm glad they got the ship. So, I mean, there is that. And I mean, it certainly looks like there's, hope in the future. But baseball, like you just said, is really hard to predict. I mean, it just seems like you're either on or you're on. And if you're off, then you can't really do much. It's not like you're defending against the other team. It's like if you can't hit, you just can't hit, That's really,
there's no reason why we shouldn't have been able to hit, though. Like, I could get into all of the complications, the ins and outs of the MLB baseball that Julia's talking about. Maybe I don't understand. Maybe I don't understand.
Morgan,
But
I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you what it was.
I'm sitting here watching it. Like, go ahead.
Our pitching was just elite. I was trying to
pitch.
No,
you pitched well. No, wait. You did pitch well, but we also hit poorly. Like it wasn't like you were just out there. Like Zach Wheeler dealt, but the other guys, like there was definitely opportunities to be had, and we didn't take them.
I mean, I guess, but like
especially Ranger. I mean, in the last game, especially like there are some pitches that he hung that should have been slapped. Like I would say they get slapped most of the time. Like that Acuna in the first inning, his first at bat, he missed it by about probably like 2 inches. Like not the out that he got. He grounded out. He ended up fouling the pitch off. But what's it called? If he didn't foul that pitch off, that was going like 450 feet. Like,
bro, no way we're talking about one pitch right now. Are you talking? You're talking about.
I'm
one
just giving
pitch?
you example. I mean, that's how baseball goes. Because like Castellanos, like he homered off Strider on one pitch. Like we had 2 strikes and he homered.
Nah, what was crazy though, Bryce Harper giving the Braves pitchers like the death stares. I was like, that's so disrespectful. And I was like, dang.
That boy lame for real.
He's him.
But Braves went out bad. Atlanta sports per usual. We're gonna be talking about the Falcons a little bit later, of course. But what about this new MLB format? So as you can see, we got the Rangers and the not the Orioles, the Astros.
The Astros, yeah.
I mean, this is got a butt beat. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Both games, it seemed like, the top teams or whatever just went out bad in these playoffs. Like, does that have anything to do with with the new format?
No, I really don't. I think it's just a bad excuse for the good teams. They're just playing bad. Like, let's be honest, Julian. The Rangers and the Houston Astros are very good teams. Like, those are very good teams that could very well make it to the World Series.
They could have beat those teams. I agree. I don't know if it's a valid excuse. Like I would say, like I get why people say that. Like I don't know if it helps you to take a week off before you come and play in the postseason. Like that can't really help you in baseball unless like your guys are recovering from injury. Like maybe that, but other than that, like for hitting, like for the Braves at least, I don't think that helped us at all. Like it's been 2 years in a row that it seems to have hurt us. Maybe we're choking, but I don't know.
Y'all are chokers. That is fact.
Hey, Take 5 Pod. Make sure y'all follow us everywhere for daily content. Shout out to Coop for joining us this morning. Let's move on a little bit. So at Take 5, like I normally don't have to do this, but I had to add a slide this morning. So let's go ahead and hear what happened last night.
What I just said in the locker room to the team is they got to make up in their mind, are they in love with this game or are they in like with it? Because when you love something, you give to it unconditionally. You give everything you got to it, but when you like it, that's just the button you push. And it lights up in a like. That's what they do on social media. So we got to figure out, do they love it or do they like it?
We got Coach Prime questioning the heart after the game. I mean, they up. What were they up? 29? Was it 29 points?
It's 29-0.
I haven't seen that since the Falcons Super Bowl. Shout out to Atlanta sports. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen that one. So Julian, you watched the game, bro. What happened here?
I don't know. Like I really don't understand. Like honestly, I fell asleep before overtime actually, but like in the third quarter, it just seemed like it was almost like they got complacent. Like they were hitting that guy, the guy who had 300 yards for Stanford. Most of his yards were in the second half. I would predict probably like 75% of those 300 came in the second half, and it was all on Travis Hunter. I'm not gonna lie. Like they took it to that boy. Like it was crazy.
And they're coming out with reports now that Shedeur was in the locker room at halftime trying to sell merch on his social media. You know what I'm saying? While they're up in the game, like Julian,
I thought the game was over. I'm not like they probably thought the game was over as well.
I did too. The world did.
Just because you think the game is over doesn't mean you need to act like it. Like I think that's just an undisciplined squad, in my opinion. I think that needs better coaching.
But like, do we need a narrative though, Julian? Like, do we need to begin a narrative about this team that you got all the rappers, you got every actor coming to the game, you got to film every locker room discussion with Coach Prime, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to have the shades and the cowboy hats while we're in the press conference. Like, is it just too much?
As soon as he flashed his watch to the student section, it became too much.
Bro,
I think it's okay for you to like be flashy, like to flaunt like when you win, but I mean to lose like that, obviously you're gonna get a lot of backlash. So it comes on both sides.
I think,
but it's not just this loss. You know what I'm saying? They haven't won, and you know what I'm saying? Like
they won last week, bro. I mean the team is still what are they 4-3 now? Like it's not like they're bad. They're not garbage. Like they're a winning football team after winning one game last year. They won a game last year.
Okay, yeah, you can't argue with that. I mean, definitely can't argue with that. Well, 4-3.
I just think that they're missing some offensive and defensive linemen, but from my perspective, just watching the post-game highlights and looking at the stats, that one wide receiver, I don't even know how to say his last name, but I think his number was number 13. He was going crazy, and the secondary of Colorado clearly was not ready to play. Travis Hunter was getting did up by number 13. His name was like OU Namar or something like that. That dude was going like that. Yeah, I mean, he was going crazy. His first name was Eric, but I don't know how to say his last name. But I mean, the way in which he caught a ball on the back of Travis Hunter's head, and it's like, y'all, this is stuff like that is symbolic, because it's when you flash your watch and do all this stuff like that, and then your best friend is over here getting mossed like that, and then y'all are already up 29.
But cool.
That's probably the biggest choke job that we've seen this entire college football season. It's close.
But shout out to you, Miami, though. Shout out to you, Miami. My boy Drew down there, trying to hide out. But, that's neither here nor there. But cool. I was in the chat this morning, though, because I was thinking to myself, if I was in that position if there was a team that's beating me 29-0 on the football field, how would I muster the will to keep on competing to go on and win this game? I thought about, the coaching. Maybe they gave him a pep talk room. Maybe, maybe they threatened to do suicide, something like that. But then I realized, I think it was this man right here. You know what I'm saying? With the, putting the watch in the face. They're talking on the field. He's talking crazy on the field. Like,
Yeah,
he's always talking crazy though. Like
he's always talking crazy. So I'm like,
that's their motivation to come back for 29-0. Like, I don't think
you don't think that was it. What was it?
It probably was their motivation, dude.
I mean, it's part of it, definitely. Like you're playing Colorado, so you're on the biggest stage. Any team who plays Colorado this year is gonna give them their best shot.
Right.
But I don't know if we can point our finger at Shador. Go ahead.
It's the 29-0. It's like being up by that much, and like you're flashing your watch, but the Colorado as a whole, I mean, I think what's they weren't, number one, they probably let their foot off the gas a little bit, and then Stanford probably went back there and was like, okay, we're gonna make as many adjustments as possible. Probably gave them a pep talk, but Colorado came out slow, and then they were like, oh, we're beating by this much. And then in football, football momentum exists in football. I mean, unlike any other, I mean, maybe basketball is a little bit similar, but football, I mean, there starts to get a point in your head where you just feel like, are we really about to blow this game? And Stanford makes one touchdown, then they get another. Now they're only down by a score. And then on Colorado side, you're like, okay, now we got to turn back up. But you've already let Stanford get that energy, like, we can beat y'all. and it's you can't play around with teams like that. But I mean, the offensive line was letting Shador get sacked left and right, which has been a consistent theme this entire season. I think he's the most sacked quarterback in all of college football.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, and it's horrible. It's crazy. I mean, you get down to like at the end of the USC game, for example, he got sacked, and it was like, I mean, it was probably the biggest fourth and goal that I've ever seen in my entire life. I was like, damn. But I think they just need some more. They need some more dogs, like some more linemen, and they just needs to focus more so on winning. I mean,
I couldn't agree more.
It's crazy. You up 29-0. This team was 1-4, and you guys let them come all the way back on you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out to them though. Like, really shout out to them, because again, you got to be different. You got to have a different type mindset to lock it and do what they did, man. So that's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm still lost. I still don't understand how that even happened. Like, thinking back, watching the game, like, there was never a point in my head when I was like, Colorado's gonna lose. Like, I actually made the conscious decision to go to sleep. I was like,
I went to sleep when it was over 9-0. I went to sleep because I was like,
I had the game on, and then when I saw the score, I was like, oh, Colorado's playing, and then I was like, nah, this is a blowout.
Especially it got to like the fourth quarter, and I think it was when Stanford got close, and Colorado, I think they were only up 3 at this point, came back and threw a bomb touchdown, and then they threw a little crossing route to Travis, and he scored, and they took the lead by 10, and I was like, yeah, this is over. And then I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, what? What happened?
No, that was crazy. We checked this morning, Colorado, they turned the ball over once that entire game. One time. I personally thought when I saw the score, I was like, yeah, they probably got some pick sixes. They
didn't just give them the game. Like, it was definitely the secondary, in my opinion. Like, it wasn't even like they were getting bombed on. Like, they were throwing like slants. They got slanted up and down the field for 300 yards. Like, it was just like, it was crazy.
That's too crazy. Yeah, that's too crazy. At Tape 5. Listen, man. So now we gotta switch gears a little bit. Some more football, but we back in the league with this one. So Thursday night game, Broncos versus the Somebody finish that for me because I forgot already.
Chiefs.
But Chiefs there you go. All right, so Steve Smith has some words about Jerry Jeudy.
And so the word that I've used to describe him in the past was a jag, just a guy, just a guy. When I saw him, he's playing well. I wanted to say to him face to face, like, hey, I know I said some things in the past I probably shouldn't have, and I'm sorry. His response was, ninja, I don't mess with you. So I'll say it again. I'm sorry that I said you were a jag, just a guy who's an average wide receiver they use a first-round pick on. I'm sorry for saying that you're an average wide receiver that they eventually will move on, and when teams call me and asking, should they trade for you, I will say no.
I don't know if he's really, just me. Like, I don't know if he was really sorry for real, but like, cool. Cool. You play as a receiver, man. Like, so with a dude like Steve Smith comes at Jerry Jeudy like this. First of all, is this fact or fiction? Like, is Jerry Jeudy that type of wide receiver? Is Steve Smith right about him?
Well, I think if you look at Jerry Jeudy's numbers, I mean, I would say that, I don't think Steve Smith was far off. But I do think that for his talent level, he's not in a system that has allowed him to really flourish like that. That can have a lot to do with somebody's just strictly their numbers looking bad. But from the way Steve Smith was saying it, I mean, this is a guy who is, I mean, he was an elite receiver, but in the beginning of his career kind of started out similar to Jerry Jeudy. But it also, I mean, he knows in terms of the skill set that the receiver has, whether or not that they can play. And if objectively that's what he felt, then I don't really see a problem with him saying that. And I think for him to go and try to apologize in person, I think that was professional. I don't think that Jerry Jeudy, I don't think his response was one that he should have had. I mean, your team is what, 1-5 now. I mean, you guys, like that tweet right there, 3 catches for 14 yards. I mean, I'm just saying. But last year, I mean, what were the Broncos? They won like 3 games. Yeah, I mean, and so I think from that perspective, in football, here's the thing: is to be known as the best at your position, it has to be in a winning effort. If you look at high school teams all around Georgia, all around anywhere, I don't care where it is, the kids that get like the Bama scholarships, the kids that get like the high level D1 scholarships, their teams win and they go far in the playoffs. You can't just have these numbers and your team not be winning. But so I think from Jerry Jeudy's perspective, that's what leads to him being known as just a guy. It's like, your numbers might be a little decent, they're average, and I mean, you're on a losing team, so you're just probably another receiver because your impact on the game isn't one that can lead you guys to a winning effort.
Let me stop you there though. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody who disagrees that Jerry Jeudy, is there anybody that believes that Jerry Jeudy is more than a guy? I'll put it that way.
Of course, Jerry Jeudy is more than a guy. I need to go ahead and say this. He is an elite talent, but he plays for the Broncos. He is absolutely a product of his scheme, his coaching, his mind. It's all of the other factors that are causing him to kind of not have an impact. If he was on the Vikings, then he'd be the only one getting the ball. Whoa. I'm saying if he replaced Justin Jefferson.
What are we talking about? Whoa. Dude, Jerry Jeudy's not I've already made this statement a while ago. Jerry Jeudy is not really like that. Like Jerry Jeudy's he was good in college, I understand that. But Jerry Jeudy is not in it. Like to say Jerry Jeudy's an elite talent is definitely stretching it. Yeah, as far from what we've seen so far, there's nothing that I've seen to make me think, oh, this guy's like an elite football player, or not an elite football player, but an elite NFL football player. Never.
So tier 3.
He's worse than tier 3. That was a nice statement.
Whoa.
Okay.
Worse than tier 3.
All right, let's think. So the tier 1 guys are going to be your top 5 guys, right? Your top 5 to top 10 guys.
Your
Yes.
soups.
I think that's
Right.
that's more of a talent based question, like people's ability, and then you factor in their production behind that.
No, I agree. No,
Yeah.
I
Are you talking
agree.
about talent wise, Julian, or like production?
Both. I'm considering all aspects.
Dude,
I don't.
talent
Tier 3 is
wise,
nice.
Production is
Because-
like what Jacob and Coop said, like it's because of his system he's in. Like
I understand that. I'm talking about. I'm considering all aspects of it. Like I don't know if Jerry Judy. I think saying he's tier 3 is generous at this point. Tier 3.
Who's a tier 3 receiver though? I mean,
I think it's like
Drake
guys
London, I mean,
Drake. Yeah, even like Drake London, I think is better than Judy, and like
Or,
guys like Brandon Ayuk, like those guys are like tier 3.
Brandon
Brandon
Ayuk.
those aren't
Ayuk
tier
is
3
tier
players.
Yes, Brandon Ayuk is tier 3.
Brandon
Those are-
Ayuk is,
Those are
Brandon
Ayuk
Ayuk
is
is up.
elite,
yeah, he is elite.
Brandon Ayuk is not. He's
and so is Drake London.
Look, the top guys can only be like, you got to think it. NFL, like every team has a number 1 wide receiver pretty much, right? So there's like 10 guys in the tier 1. Those guys like transcend systems. Like all of those guys, like the Mike Evans of the leagues, the like Julio Jones, like all those guys. Then right under them are going to be your number 2 guys who are also monsters, like Keenan Allen's, like those guys. So then that tier right under them is the guys like Brandon Ayuk and them, who I don't think that Jerry Judy's in that tier. I don't think so.
Why
Dude,
do you
his
think
quarterback-
Brandon Ayuk is tier 3 though? Like this dude is. I mean,
Brandon Ayuk's very good at football, but I don't put him in the category of being with guys like I said, like I think Keenan Allen's a tier 2 receiver.
and
Like
Brandon Ayuk is tier 3.
yeah,
That's about fair.
That's fair.
Keenan
I'll
Allen
say
is a tier 1, first of all.
okay, maybe Keenan Allen's tier 1, but like I'm just saying the lower guys on the like I don't know if Keenan Allen's tier 1.
Julian, think about his quarterbacks though. He's had Drew Lock. What was that? His rookie year. Then he had Russell Wilson in his worst year. Like literally,
There's guys who produce with bad quarterbacks.
yeah. But Russ was literally like the worst quarterback in the league. Like there wasn't like a quarterback you would want to play with less than Russ last year. He was that bad.
I think it is the production. I think it is kind of the system that he might be in though too. Because if you look at what's his name? He was DJ Moore. Like with Baker Mayfield, his numbers weren't very good, but just
They're better than Judy's. He went 1,000. Like he's going 1,000 at least. Like
yeah.
like,
I mean, but all I'm saying is that, like, if you just looked at him in Carolina with Baker Mayfield, it was like, I mean, you could tell that this dude had like tier 1 ability, and that
yeah, he had more.
Yeah,
I don't see it. Jerry Judy, number 1, Jerry Judy can't consistently stay healthy. That's a major, I think that's a major factor in like where we rank him. He can't play a full season or even close to it. His I watched the video on it. The way that like he runs, like his legs won't hold up for a season. It's not possible.
Yeah, but I think that he should have just taken the criticism. I don't like the fact that Steve Smith necessarily aired him out like that. I think that there was kind of a lack of this is really what you would refer to as just it just
old heads hating.
Yeah, but it's just ignorance on both ends. In the Black community, there's a term for it, but I won't say what it is. But you guys probably know what I'm thinking.
Hey,
back and forth.
But y'all have to respect this though, because again, did any of y'all know that Steve Smith had a podcast?
Nah.
I could have guessed.
Well, but you didn't know though. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm liable to tune in. So that's just how that's how the cookie crumbles.
Nah, but he was like actually trying to like real deal apologize to him. And
he was.
Judy was just being like rude, like take it, bro. Like take the apology. I don't get it.
Ninja, I don't rock with you.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. But okay though. Well, let's talk a little bit about this game, though, in general. Okay, so we got the 19-8 victory for the Chiefs. Every list I see, that I've seen, A lot of people have the Chiefs as a top 5 team in the NFL, right? They've been winning games, you know what I mean? But it has not really been pretty. It really has not been. Like their offense is obviously not the same. The defense looks great. Should the Chiefs be considered a top 5 team right now?
I want to answer this question first by saying this. And Ian, I think that the Eagles are kind of in a similar position in the NFC. But I think that the Chiefs, what you're seeing is they are struggling a little bit to move the ball down the field like what we're accustomed to seeing them, but their defense has showed up and is playing stronger in the absence of a Travis Kelce and, you know, all the other receivers that we've lost over the years. I think that Sky Moore was a Valdez Scantling, and then Kadarius Toney. I think that those guys are talented, but I think that the loss of Juju Smith-Schuster, I think that if you look at the playoffs last year, he was going crazy. I mean, he played like I don't think I've ever seen him play before. And, you know, the credit to Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, a lot of these highlights that I was looking at of him and just games that I was watching, it was him shaking the defenders off of him. Like, it was him getting that open. Like, but I think that the Chiefs, they're in a strong position. I don't see anybody in that division beating them. And that's what it really comes down to. I mean, I think that the AFC Championship, once again, is going to go through Arrowhead, and depending on the records, I think that, I mean, because how many games has Detroit lost? They've lost once, right?
I think
they're on the other side though.
So the Seahawks, they lost to the Seahawks. Then they lose to the Seahawks. But I think that they're in a good position to. The Bengals are a little bit weaker this year. I don't think that they will. You know how I got into an argument on YouTube with a bunch of Bengals fans. They were all like, "Oh, like we were in the same position last year." And I was like, "Yeah, you were in the same position without Joe Burrow having a calf injury and looking like he's on one leg in a lot of these games." And on top of that, you had P. Ryan still. I mean, it's just I don't see. I don't see the same explosiveness because Mixon was kind of the guy who could like mix it up and make something out of nothing. But P. Ryan was like,
they miss P. Ryan,
yeah. You need 3-4 yards and you need somebody to go get it. He will get in that hole and he will go get it, like literally. He was more of a straightforward, just power running back. But their offense too hasn't looked all that great. But I just say all that to say I think that the Chiefs. I think that if they just figure out the wide receiver position, I mean, it is Patrick Mahomes, like, and we've gotten accustomed to seeing him, and I am a Chiefs fan, I will say that. But I mean, if you look at what he has produced every single time that we've had questions about his legacy and all this, will he answer the call? He's always done it. And I mean, he's a short side of the Bengals for a few seasons. I mean, getting into a shootout with the Bills. I mean, losing on a pre-snap penalty to the Brady-led Patriots at the time. Yeah. Like, I think that we have to take this dude serious. And I think that, like I said, I think that the AFC Championship game is going to go through Arrowhead. They ain't lost it in some of these. It's been ugly, but I can't sit up here and say that on any given Sunday that the Chiefs are, they expect them. Like, if they win, I'm not surprised. But if they lose, then I'm like, okay, what happened? But I certainly haven't lost confidence in them at all. And maybe they need to get a trade for a receiver.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
I mean, because, like that offense, you need something else besides. But if they can figure that out, the defense has been a lot better than what.
Defense is tough.
They've been very good. Yeah. Good.
Defense is definitely tough.
Speaking of guys like Judy, like those guys are available now.
I was just going to say that.
And Cortland Sutton, like those guys are now available because their teams are so trash. So we'll see if they go get one.
If they went and got a Judy, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They definitely could.
I mean, it would. Yeah, he can produce on the Chiefs for sure.
Chris Jones.
So
menace too. I mean, that dude is insane.
Yeah.
Like,
So
the way he gets out the ball is, I mean, he's the best D tackle right now for sure.
are any of y'all? So none of y'all want or believe that the Chiefs have dropped out of that top 5.
No.
As long as
You can't.
Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes play together on a team, they will always be top 5.
And
Okay.
I think Coop made a good point. Like their defense is so good right now. Like their offense can struggle, but their defense it really holds them together. I think Patrick Mahomes really hasn't really had like a top 10 defense in the league since he's been in the league, and he's been to the championship every year.
I mean, they always arrive in the playoffs though.
That's
like,
true.
That's the one thing that the Chiefs do.
Last year, their defense was ranked last in the NFL in red zone production. They couldn't stop anybody in the red zone. But then when the playoffs get there, I don't know what happened. I mean, if you saw that Super Bowl, I mean, then some of them hits that the Chiefs were laying, I was like, Jesus. Like, I mean, there was one, like Devontae Smith got like the crap knocked out of him by I think it was by McIntosh or one of our safeties. I mean, I like going out of bounds. I was like, the Chiefs are, I mean, when they get to that game,
they force like really important field goals. Yeah.
Facts. Let's keep it moving. I definitely got a few more slides we got to get through. So let's go ahead and let's pick one of these NFL games. We got that Cowboys Chargers on Monday.
Oh Lord.
And,
I got the Chargers in that one.
Man.
No, I got Cowboys bounce back game.
Herbert ready to go though. Like
I'm saying, Herbert ready.
I think Herbert is going to play. I think Herbert will play well, but I think the Cowboys bounce back. I do.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This type of game right here, as a Cowboys fan, this is one of those games where you really look at it and you look at it on paper and you say to yourself, okay, we just lost last week. Like, we're still really good. Like, surely we're going to bounce back.
Right.
But I will say that going up against, you know, who was his name? He was there last year, the offensive coordinator.
Kellen?
Yeah, Kellen Moore. And then you've got Justin Herbert. You're playing in SoFi from what I'm pretty sure it's in SoFi. I mean,
and Eckler's back.
It'll be. I think it's going to be tough to stop the Chargers, but I do think the Chargers have the second worst defense in the league, in my opinion.
But they still have a lot of talent on that defense. It's just they
do. Khalil Mack finally arrived for the first time like 2 weeks ago, so
I almost forgot the name.
How that plays well, but yeah.
Hey, let's keep it pushing though. Let's keep it pushing because Coop got some SEC takes. We got to get into this Saturday slate that we have. What do we like?
So I wanted to ask you guys, who do you guys think will be in the SEC championship game? Do you think that it will be another? I posted this on my story. I said that I think that it's going to come down to another rematch of Alabama and UGA. And then I also think too that just in general, I think that the playoff in college football, the best 4 teams right now are UGA. I can't throw Alabama out of there just because they refuse to lose. I don't care how bad they play. They won't lose. Then you have Ohio State and you have Michigan. Those are to me, those are the 4 best teams right now. And so yeah, who do you guys think is going to win the SEC championship? And then what do you guys think that
I'll go first just because y'all are going to hate my answer. It comes down to this Auburn-LSU game today. Because if Auburn beats LSU, then Alabama plays in Jordan-Hare, and they are not winning that game.
But what is that? They're still going to win the West, though.
Why would they win the West?
They both have a loss. They both have a loss. They both have a loss. So it would, if in Jacob saying that when Alabama plays Auburn, that Auburn will win in Auburn is what you're saying, right?
Nah, I get what he's saying, but Auburn's not running the table. Like that tiebreaker doesn't matter. Like
they got Ole Miss, don't they? They got Ole Miss.
They already beat Alabama. Beat Ole Miss though. That tiebreaker doesn't matter.
But Ole Miss, I don't.
You think that Auburn's going to run the table in the West?
I'm saying they could. LSU and Alabama are the only two threats.
Bro, Auburn has no chance. Auburn is not going to the SEC championship. Let's establish that right now, okay?
You don't understand what
Auburn will not be playing in the SEC championship or contending for the SEC West. That won't happen, okay?
Did you not just watch the game 2 weeks ago?
Bro, which game? Which game are you talking about?
The Georgia game.
Hey, Auburn ain't gonna do that, bro. I can't lie. Auburn's not gonna do that.
They probably won't. They're bad. But
What are we talking
you
about?
are underestimating the.
That boy just a fan. You know.
Nah, I get you. No,
You gotta respect
Alabama
it.
could.
You don't understand rivalries, obviously.
They could. No. Alabama could go and lose that rivalry game, and it still wouldn't matter because y'all are not gonna compete well in the SEC West. Like you're not gonna have the same record as Bama.
That's why I said it comes down to this game today.
Hey man, Drew, who you got? SEC.
In the SEC West, it's probably going to be Bama or LSU. Like that's
LSU got 2 losses already, though.
Yeah, but one of them is to Florida State, though. Oh, do they have 2 SEC losses now?
No, they only have because they beat Mizzou last week.
No, yeah, one is to Florida State.
Okay,
they're gonna have to pray for Alabama to lose again. Like Alabama,
they do. They do, but I mean, they match up though. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's going to come down to those teams. They have a chance to beat them head to head, and like essentially hop them. Auburn won't have the record to hop Bama. Like I don't think even if y'all beat them, like I think you have a fair chance to beat them because you're playing them at home in a huge rivalry. Anything can happen. We know that, but your record is not going to equal them, so it doesn't matter. That's why I think.
I just said it comes down to this game today. If we lose, obviously we're out of contention.
Even if
you're saying if they beat LSU and then Alabama, like, has Alabama already played LSU? No, they haven't, have they?
No, they haven't. So I'm saying if we beat LSU today, then we're going to win out in the SEC.
So do you think you're going to – you already lost the game to Texas A&M. Yeah, so you have one
Texas A&M is out of it.
They have one SEC or 2 SEC losses.
They play LSU and Alabama. They're not winning those games.
But you already have lost an SEC game. Then you have to play Bama, and you have to play LSU, and you have to play Ole Miss. Correct?
Yes.
You're not running that table.
I'm saying it's very unlikely. It's probably not going to happen.
All right, finishing my point. Like, let's move on from the Auburn. Like, it's going to be Bama and Georgia again, probably because Georgia they don't play anyone for the rest of the season. They're going to run that table, obviously.
Except Ole Miss. You got Ole Miss.
Okay, yeah, they have Ole Miss. I still think they'll be Ole Miss. Is it in Mississippi?
It is.
Okay, they might lose that game.
Maybe a tough one. Maybe.
Last time we were there, we got 45-14. It was an ass whooping. That was the Nick Chubb team.
Oh, okay. Dang, was that long ago? That's crazy.
Hey, let me keep us moving though. Let me keep us moving because we got some more we got to cover. We got to get back to some some real sports, aka hoops. What's the game of the day, college wise? All right, what are we watching?
Washington and Oregon.
Well, yeah, that too.
That's a huge one. Washington, Oregon is a major game.
I like Oregon.
And I also think to answer Coop's point about the top 4 teams, I don't know if we can put a Bama team over one of the I don't know if Bama would be the best team in the Pac-12 right now, just based on what I've seen. Like the Pac-12 looks strong. I don't know who's the best. Like it's kind of gonna they're gonna play it out, obviously, because they all play each other. But I don't know if I can put them over like a Washington at this point. Like they play very well, and Bama has it.
Hold on. I can't agree with that.
Can't let it slide.
Bama got slapped by Texas at home.
Bro, I'm telling you, if they were in the Pac-12, the SEC has a different level of athlete.
I don't think that the SEC is very strong this year.
They're not.
I mean, it is weaker. I will say it's weaker, but I mean, Pac-12, like who's in the Pac-12, right? Like that's gonna beat Bama. Like really?
They're good. Okay, look, Oregon, Washington State.
Stop. You gotta realize Bama's too battle tested to let a team like Washington State give them you have to realize who Bama plays on a week-to-week basis. They're playing against future NFL pros, and the percentage of those
teams
guys
are not good though. These teams y'all are living in the SEC propaganda past. This is not the reality. This is the reason SEC teams get ranked is because the coaches do the polls.
Bro,
SEC teams are not that great this year.
Last year, you just seen Georgia play Oregon with relatively the same team,
No,
and they got
I don't think
waxed.
Oregon was that.
They got
Oregon was
waxed.
number one. The team of Georgia, the team that Georgia had last year, is not the team that Georgia has this year.
I mean,
they're
that's
much
true.
better.
But I will say though, I'm just talking about you still had Bo Nix. Like it's still relatively the same team. I'm just saying like. You're talking about Alabama. The only team that I really could see that could
Bama's weak. Bama's weaker this year.
Only two teams I think that could beat Alabama is two teams: is UGA and it's Ohio State. Other than that,
no.
And Texas already beat them. So
I mean, but that's one game though, and
they beat them at home
opener.
At home,
he's an opener. I get it. But what I'm saying though is this: Texas is coming to the SEC, so you got to remember. And then they also stole a couple players from the portal that made them a very strong team. We just seen them get beat by Oklahoma.
That's fair, but that's a rivalry game, and it was a tight game. They lost a 1-score game in a rivalry game. Like I don't really knock them for that. Like in my opinion, I would still put Texas over Bama. Like Texas has still looked stronger than Bama this year. They went and beat Kansas. They went into Bama and beat them. Like I can't put Bama over Texas. And in the game that they played Bama, they didn't even look like a match. Like it, they didn't look like
it was a difference. It was a difference. It was. It's just now. I think that Alabama has found their form. Is ultimately what I'm saying. And
with good quarterback play, they'll be good. Alabama will be much better.
And the thing is for UGA. If there's one team that can match the level of athlete that UGA has, it's Alabama. Like I mean, in the SEC
and Florida, and I think Florida State's very good this year.
They are.
Honestly, outside of my bias, I would have put Miami up there with them, but we choked the game away last week. So
Miami actually is up there.
We have a very good team. We have a very good team.
How y'all watch that game?
Because you
do know how.
Like I mean, I don't.
We choked it.
That coach that y'all got, like I said, he, you know, if I was the AD for Miami, as soon as that game was over with, I probably would have looked out the window for 5 minutes. And I would have called him on the phone, and I would have been like, "Nah, bro." I would have been like, "Nah, bro." Like there's no way. I would have been like, "Bro, look." I would have been like, "You gotta go."
That was just so disheartening because like I really do think our team is like very good. Like our offensive line, defensive line is very strong this year. And like I think that he may have lost the locker room. So like what happens after now, like I have no clue. Like we could get blown out tonight by UNC.
Right. You guys think UGA will get the 3-peat done?
No.
Definitely not.
I just think the odds are against that happening. Like their team is good again, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I like you said, I think that the odds, even as big of a Georgia fan that I am, I think that 3 in a row, it's the reason why the last time that happened, it was like the 1930s. And during that time, it probably wasn't even as many teams, you know what I mean? So I think that, you know, I could see, I just don't see UGA losing again. I
mean, they're gonna get there. They're gonna get to the last 4. Like I don't see a way in which that doesn't happen. Like
I mean, they could lose the SEC championship.
But even if they go undefeated and lose the SEC championship, they're still in.
I don't think so.
Really,
they might actually, if they lose the SEC championship, they might actually not put them in the playoff because you get the team that
we have to see. We have to see what it looks like for everyone else. Like we don't know.
Yeah.
I'd say 5, man. Hey, I gotta get y'all moving because we got some more stuff we gotta cover. We got some more things we have to cover real quick. We got a thug and a rapper. All right. We got a thug and a rapper. So cool. We appreciate you getting on, man. You know what I'm saying? I take 5. What do you make of this Charlotte Hornets situation? So we got Miles Bridges, you know, he turned himself in this week. And we got Kai Jones getting waived this week for, you know, some interesting social media posts and happenings. What's going on in Charlotte, man?
I think that for Miles Bridges, I think that there's a lot going on with that situation that's probably not really in the public eye right now. I know that he had that situation like last year. where he was beating on his girlfriend and he assaulted his girlfriend. But from what I read last night, I think that him violating his protection order, it sounded like he was continuing to try to contact her. And, I mean, you end up in this situation. But I think that if I'm not mistaken, he has a kid with that woman, and that situation, it just seems like there's a lot to it. And it's always a lot to it when it's a kid involved too, because it's you can't really ever just like not be in contact. I mean, you can. I mean, obviously by law, like he should have been, but I think that for him, if the kid wasn't with him, which it probably wasn't, then I don't think a court would let somebody, hit on their girl and then you let the kid go back with the dad. But
No.
I think from that perspective, as a grown man, it could probably be very stressful that you can't just, talk to your kid whenever you want to. I think that's probably, why he, is in that situation. I don't think, as long as he wasn't saying anything like threatening or things like that, that's not what I read. I just read that he just continued to try to like contact her through whatever methods. And
you know what? Cool. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't care about what this man got going on. You know what I'm saying? What I care about right now in this moment, now I'm being for real. Like what I care about right now in this moment is what is Charlotte going to do about this? You know what I'm saying? Because Kai Jones was waived, right? He was let go for, whatever he's doing on social media.
What did he post? I saw that, but there was I think somebody posted something, or he said something about him not wanting to.
No, he said he requested a trade. Like you know how you can't publicly request a trade? Like I don't think in pro sports you can do that.
No, you
he was like, he publicly requested a trade from them on his Twitter account, and then he posted a lot of other like controversial things on his own page, which is
not even
that happens.
But just for more context, he's been away from the team due to quote unquote personal reasons. But the fans, everybody has seen him posting on social media. He's been, he's been dancing, having a good time, babbling at the mouth, saying some things that don't make sense, calling himself a top player and the best player in the NBA, like, calling himself better than Michael Jordan, like just stuff like that. And people don't really know like what's wrong with this guy. But Charlotte, they just up and say, hey, we're gonna let you go right now for all of this.
I mean, this stuff like this is hard for like, I mean, it's not hard for me to discuss, but I do want to give grace in situations like this, just because, I mean, athletes can go through a lot. Now, I don't know, like maybe it could be a lot of things. Like maybe it's like drug issues, or because some of them videos that I've seen, he kind of has looked like he's like off his rocker a little, like he's not in his
sure.
like, he's like
sweating.
And sweating, like and saying like random. It's almost like he smoked some bad weed almost, and that's nice. I mean, I'm being serious though. Like if you smoke some bad weed, like it can make you. It can. Yeah, but I mean, so I think it's probably just that. I think it's probably something mentally going on. I don't think that he's posting all this stuff just under his So when I see stuff like this, it's more so I think that he just needs help. I don't think that he's committed a crime per se.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah,
but
so from
my thing is, where do you get help though? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know anything about his family or situation, anything like that, but he's a part of an organization. You know what I'm saying? He was a part of a team where, you have your brothers in the locker room that are supposed to uplift you. You have your coach that's supposed to be somewhat of a mentor, coaching staff, front office, etc. Like, yeah. I just want to know more about the situation. I know they're not going to tell us anytime soon while this is actively going on, but like, I just want to know why why he was waived, why he's beyond, the help that he obviously needs.
Bro, he got waived because he requested a trade. Like he violated the league rules, so that's why he got waived. Like I don't think he got waived.
But if he's not mentally there,
but also for NBA players, just because he got waived, that doesn't mean that he doesn't still have the benefits that you get, like access to therapy and all those different things. You can still access that type of stuff. Just because you get waived, that type of stuff doesn't. It does. Now, I think you'd probably have to go through the NBA to get it. You can't go back through the Charlotte Hornets and try to access their resources.
And let's realize the NBA doesn't care. Like let's not I know we want to say what sounds good or what should happen necessarily, but at the end of the day, he plays for an organization who is a business. He violated the rules, then he's posting things that are not a good look for the organization because he represents them. So of course he got waived. I don't.
But look at that man on the left right there, Drew.
He should also get waived. I mean,
well, they didn't waive him.
I understand that, but Miles Bridges, he had a domestic violence case. Now he's getting in more trouble. I don't know what's going on.
But Julian,
I personally don't know.
But where's the accountability on the organization's part? When these teams draft these players, they ask them all types of questions to gauge their personality. It's almost like it's like a real employer. You know what I mean? They really want to know who they're bringing in. So if you're bringing in, I think last year, Montrezl Harrell and who else just got caught up with some crazy amount of cocaine riding on the highway. And he was on the Hornets at that time. So it's
they should hold themselves accountable.
I don't think that to say that that they don't care. I mean, it's you did draft these players, you know what I mean? You did vet them and you knew the type of you know them as a person. So
all I'm saying is I don't know if you could pull what Kai Jones is if you could predict what Kai Jones is pulling right now from a vetting process. Yeah. The things that he's doing currently, I couldn't have figured that out while vetting someone.
Go back and watch when he was at Texas. He was having all kinds of issues with the coaches and all that stuff.
I think that's true for a lot of players though. Because at the end of the day, they're also kids at the point that they're drafted. Those guys are coming out 19 years old, most of the first round picks. So I think they're expecting some of these people to mature, as most players do. Most first round picks don't come into the league mature. I think that's just the reality of the situation. But
but they don't do the stuff that these two have done though.
The Bridges is a little bit different in my opinion. I don't know how Bridges is employed right now. I really don't get that one. There's just been a bit too much happening. Too much is going on for Bridges to still be employed. I don't get.
And with the Kai Jones thing, and I'm gonna leave it at this because I got one more wrinkle I want to add in to the pod. But you have agents, you know what I'm saying? You have representation, you have your lawyers, you know what I'm saying? I'm wondering where all of these people are in this process and what I just want to know what's going on. That bottom line. And I just want to know what's going on with this man. His song is hard though. Have you heard the song? Cool. You heard the song?
Yeah, I have heard the song.
The song is tough. It goes, doesn't it?
It do.
It definitely goes. It definitely goes. He might just want another career. You know what I'm saying? He might just be taking the career in a different direction. Yeah, he could do that.
He's trying to make it out the NBA.
That's what I'm saying. It might be his original calling. The dude is 6'11". He probably got forced into it. He might just want to be a rapper. I don't know. So Justin Jefferson, last thing, and we're gonna end this thing. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Justin Jefferson on the injury reserve. All right. Is Kirk Cousins going to stay or is he gonna go? And where?
He's gonna go. Someone's gonna trade for him, dude. There's gonna be a team that's desperate enough for a quarterback, because there are a lot of teams in the league that I think are a quarterback away from really contending for a chip. And Kirk Cousins, he's a viable quarterback. He can get the job done. So I definitely think a team's going to be desperate enough to trade for him, but before the deadline at least.
I think. I mean, I know that Justin Jefferson is hurt. For Kirk Cousins, I mean, I think that he's in a position to. I mean, it's crazy, but I don't know where he goes. I mean, I think that if you look around the NFL for what he can provide, I mean, short side of, I mean, if the Cowboys wanted to move, but that to me, I'm like, that's almost a lateral move. Him and Kirk Cousins basically got the same numbers. Like, I can't think of another team that would really need him. Maybe the Broncos, I guess, but I mean, I don't know where else he.
It would be like
maybe
Jets.
Seahawks. Maybe
it'd be like Jets.
Yeah, the Jets.
Maybe Jets. If
yeah, but
Rodgers,
is talking about he wants to come back next year.
Yeah, they would never do that.
But when reality sets in,
I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it for the Jets to waste this year just because like Rodgers says he wants to come back next year, and we don't know what Rodgers is going to look like post Achilles. Like Rodgers is now getting near. Is he 40? He's near 40.
Oh, man.
He's not 40.
39.
Yeah, so he's getting near 40, coming off an Achilles. I don't know what he's going to look like. Like he's an elite athlete, yeah, but it would be wishful thinking to think he's going to come back the same, in my opinion.
I mean, he said he wants to come back this year, so they're.
I know, but that's not. He could, I guess, like in the Super Bowl, but like they would have to make it there, and I don't think that's going to happen.
I also feel like.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I also feel like if the coaches don't want to lose like their young players and like their like leaders, that's what I'm saying. They're going to need a quarterback.
It's not worth it to waste this year. Like if Zach Wilson takes steps, then I get it. But like obviously the coaches and like the organization knows what they have in Zach Wilson way better than we do. But like based on what we've seen so far, I don't know if it's enough to lose. Like he can lose the locker room. The coach and the GM can lose the locker room by continuously playing Zach Wilson because their defense is Super Bowl caliber. So you're wasting a season for them.
I think their defense is good, but I don't think that it's great. I'll say that. Like I think that I know they have talent. I mean, I know that but I mean, I feel like if their defense was that great, I mean, some of these games would have been a little closer. Like the Cowboys.
I don't know. Their defense might be
field though. Like
the Bills.
Yeah,
that's week one.
They can't
like week one. Here's the thing about week one. Like week one games can usually go any type of way because either team this is the first time that you're live action. Like how you guys talking about Alabama, Texas. That's what I think that game was. And the Bills right now, if they replayed the Jets, I don't think that
they would get beat. They would get beat.
Get 40 balled.
I mean, we'll see soon. We'll see soon.
Yeah, they do play him again.
They do?
Yeah, they're in the same
division.
Okay, yeah.
Still,
they're with Miami and the Patriots. I forgot, but
I like the Jets defense. I think they're very good, and they don't have years to waste. You have to what's it called? You got to take advantage of this time that they have like guys like Sauce Gardner on team friendly contracts. They're gonna have to max out. No, they just paid Quentin.
Oh yeah.
Or actually, I don't know if the money hit yet though. I think it might be hitting next year, but they're gonna have to max out Sauce Gardner. Like it's $100 million corner, so the team's gonna get worse. Like they're the guys around him. So I feel like you got to maximize that. Breece Hall. Like all of these guys, Garrett Wilson, none of them have been paid. Like none of them are paid yet. You need to win soon.
Do you think that they are going to give Breece Hall a big deal?
No, but you're going to.
What did Jonathan Taylor just get? I forgot what he got.
He got like
11 mil, I think.
Yeah, something like 11 or 13, something like that. It was too much in my opinion, but.
Yeah, but it was kind of weird though how that whole situation went.
I mean, they're dumb. The Colts like they're dumb. Like I don't.
They really are.
They just saw the backup running back produce, and
Zach
then
Moss was going crazy.
You went and paid Jonathan Taylor. And you reset the market. Like you just saw what Saquon commanded this year, and you reset the market for Taylor. I don't understand that at all. But
and then I think. I think running backs now it's a difficult situation just because it's like you know, in any market, when your consumers start to not value the product, then you're not going to be able to charge as much for it. And I think, but it's still a position that I just look at like, okay, you have them on these early deals that they're not really getting paid that much, and you literally milk them of all their talent, injuries, like all that type
I mean,
of
it's
health.
unfair. It's definitely unfair, but I get why they do it.
Yeah, I mean, but I think it could be changed a little bit to be more running back friendly.
I mean,
Exactly.
if I was like a part of the NFLPA, I would try to get the contracts front loaded for running backs. Like you should be able to get a lot of money when you get drafted, like especially if you're a high round draft pick, which most of them won't be. But
yeah,
I'll try to do something like that.
It helped a little bit. And
but then they would probably start not taking them in high rounds. So
I mean, they aren't now. Like, you know, running back, maybe one running back a year gets taken first round or this year was 2, but usually not even 1. So,
all right, fellas, let's go ahead and wrap it up here at Tape Fire Pod. Make sure y'all all follow us on all social media. Make sure y'all follow Coop. Got his ad down below. We have daily content coming out, weekly guest athletes as well. And we will see y'all Tuesday. All right.